Hey guys, just finished watching Gotham, Season 5, Episode 7, Legend of the Dark Knight, Ace Chemicals. What an interesting episode. This one was really good. It was quite interesting that they did this storyline so early on in this season. I mean, it's only Episode 7. I think we're going with a few episodes for this season. Let's see here. IMDb says we have 12 episodes for this season. So I think that's going to be interesting to see as to where things go. So we're just a bit more than halfway. So that's going to be interesting to see. We still have like 5 episodes left. So I think it's going to be interesting to see as to where things kind of go with this and why they did this so early-ish on. I mean, it's halfway. So I think it's an interesting idea to do this. And I'm surprised they didn't end it with, with him kind of waking up. We'll have to wait and see as to where things go. So we start off with Gotham might get reconnected, Jim on the walkie type thing, and obviously it doesn't by the end of the episode. But and then there's this silly part in this episode later on that kind of Jim goes to a crime scene and stuff, and it's a really WTF moment. Like I don't know what they were thinking. There's a bunch of these guys that have been laying down. They all got Zorro, carved into them. The Zorro's head and stuff like that. And they're wearing fake mustaches, and he just moves it with his bare hands, and they were poisoned. He was told that they were poisoned, and he just touches the dead body with his bare hands. I mean, no one there had, spare gloves. Gotham is disconnected and stuff, so the supplies are limited, so he might not have a pair of disposable gloves on him. I get that. Someone might have some sort of gloves, or, use any little stick, something to lift up the mustache to see that it's fake and not just touch it with your bare hands. I mean, how stupid is that? Harper said to him, it's poison. They were poisoned to death. So that was just kind of stupid. It was a really kind of thing that just threw me out of the episode. It was kind of like, how did no one catch that? That was kind of really silly there. So, we see Jim and we see Jim later on doesn't think that Barbara, because Barbara goes to Leslie Tompkins for her to be her doctor, and that was kind of an interesting idea. And it's going to be interesting to see where things go with that whole relationship. It's kind of interesting to see how things kind of fold out with that. She doesn't want really Jim to be involved with the child. She wants, like Leslie Tompkins to be her doctor stuff, and she's the best doctor on Gotham. So that could be interesting to see. And when her and Jim try to talk about it, when Leslie forces them to talk about it, and Jim ends up pretty much saying that he doesn't think she's fit to be a mother, and she storms off. So that'll be cool to see as to where things go with that. It's going to be interesting to see, especially with obviously Batgirl and stuff. When we get a flashback, we've been confirmed that we're going to get a flashback in the last few episodes, which hopefully it'll be more than just the last episode. A flashback, maybe we can get, a time jump for like the last 3 episodes, and then have that. So we have like at least 1 or 2 or 3 episodes doing that. I think that could be really awesome, and playing with, seeing him as Batman for like 2 or 3 episodes could be really cool. I think it would be really awesome to see that, and it would be pretty interesting to see. So it'd be interesting to see if we how far do we go? Do we see a young Barbara Gordon? Also looking at a cowl type thing. Do we jump like 10 years to where he's already been Batman for 5 years? Do we jump like 15 years where he's already been Batman for like 5 years and has the costume down, and then we see a young Batgirl just opening up last thing we see is a young Batgirl opening up a closet with a Batwoman costume type thing or something like that. Could be something interesting, or just her kind of seeing him throughout, like Batman swings by a window and it's young Barbara Gordon, right? That'll be interesting to see that. It'd also be interesting to see. You got to look it up. I don't think I follow him online. I don't think he is online or not. But if Ben McKenzie will be doing the classic mustache, that would be really interesting to see if we get that. So all in all, I definitely can't wait to see as to where things go with this. But we also we see Bruce ends up, like later on, he walks right into Jeremiah's trap. We find a hypnotized Alfred and the 2 random couple that Jeremiah turned into, Thomas and Martha Wayne. And that was a really interesting story as to the way they did that. I thought it was going to go deeper into kind of messing with him and stuff, and it did it and stuff. They had it around, but it didn't really go deeper into the whole trying to mess with Bruce with his parents. he didn't really mess, like, he should have just told them, yeah, they're random strangers who happen to look, so they were the people this couple who looked the most like your parents already, and then we just turned them with plastic surgery into your parents. So he straight up tells Bruce that, so that really kind of takes away part of the kind of I guess to play with him and stuff. I think he could have played with him a little bit better as if he hadn't revealed that and let it just kind of play with it longer. And they really didn't dive deeper into that. They could have dived deeper with these fake Thomas and Martha Waynes. I mean, if they had more time, then I would have saved it. If they had another season type thing, I would have saved it for like a little bit here and there, and then over the next season have that played with. That should have been something they should have played with a lot longer throughout a few episodes, kind of having him seeing them around, making Bruce think that he's going crazy. Whereas here, he just saw them once and then chased after them, and then he was told that they were fake right away. If he had been seeing them throughout this whole season, pieces here and there, see one of them walking here and there, and different things, just kind of teasing him throughout the full episode, throughout the full season with this, that could have been really interesting. Or if this had a full-on 22 episode show, a little bit, and then actually, with that him getting teased throughout all those episodes, that could have been really cool too. Here, it just feels like rushed in this. It feels like very, remember that time of a forgetful moment. Even though it's cool to watch, it just doesn't. It wouldn't have stuck in as if they had played this out throughout the full season, because it's just kind of forgetful in this episode. It was really cool to watch, awesome to do, but it would have been a lot more memorable. Is what I'm trying to say. If they had played it out throughout the full season rather than just doing it here, this one episode, move on, that's it. So I mean, they're not really killed off. You don't really see them gone, so we don't really know exactly what happens to them. He says that they're dead. But, so I assume they actually are, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see as to if they, come back, but I doubt that they're not. They just kind of missed the mark with those two characters. The idea was really good, but they just didn't, the execution was just okay and not, like, as great as it could have been, with that type of storyline. It could have been really cool. So we see Wayne Manor is actually blown up, so that's going to be interesting to see where things go with that. And then we see Jim and Lee get, swapped in for the Waynes and stuff when they get captured by Jervis Chetch and Echo, which is pretty much Harley Quinn, right? So that's pretty cool. We see Jeremiah ends up falling in. Jeremiah and Bruce go to the Ace Chemicals and have the fight, and he falls into the vat and stuff. That was kind of interesting there, although it's kind of very different from the comics, right? Where in the comics, the Killing Joke, he was actually just a random thug, right? Just trying to do, pretending to be the Red Hood, right, so they could take the fall, right, and that was really kind of different. And then they show him that he's alive at the end of the episode, but that was kind of okay, but it was like with no brain activity. So we'll see where things go with that. Jim ends up driving the truck into the water. It goes off in the water and it infects everything, and obviously that doesn't get them reconnected to the mainland. So that'll be interesting to see where that goes. And it looks like in the trailer for the next episode, that's going to affect a lot of people, give some people some powers and stuff, so that could be interesting to see that. To get some sort of infected creatures type thing, that could be really interesting with that. Maybe some sort of aquatic life, maybe the water has become even more treacherous, right? So you can't just go out on that water anymore with a regular rowboat, like we saw Penguin sent some random guy out and he got blown up because of the landmines and stuff, the mines in the water. But maybe also the fish are starting to kind of eat anything, right? So if you just went out in a little boat like that, the fish would even eat you up too. So I think that would maybe be interesting to see that and to see what else could come out of that. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully next week's episode doesn't it looks like a filler on in the face of it. So far, not too many of these have been, since it is a shorter season. But the idea there, it looks like it's going to be just spawning some mutants, type thing from the river and stuff, so that could be disappointing for just that. That could be really boring, but we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with everything. So it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm surprised that they even last season of Gotham and they've killed the Joker off halfway through the season. Now it's the second time we've actually seen him dead, but I don't know why they didn't just end the episode with him kind of just a slight twitcher or his eyes waking up or whatever. But at the same time, even if he does come back, yes, last time he got stabbed by Selena, but she stabbed him a few times. It's something that could be sewn up. He fell into chemicals. We see that he's completely completely disfigured. I mean, he looks worse than what is it, Negative Man over on Doom and stuff, or just about as bad as that, or even looks like almost worse than Deadpool does without when he takes off his mask in the movies and stuff. So it's kind of weird as to see as to where things are going to go with this storyline. I'm assuming that the actor also is busy doing his other show, Shameless, which kind of disappoints me because he needs it's Joker. You need to have him in every goddamn episode of this last season. You know, you cannot have an episode of Gotham without the Joker for the last season. That's just going to piss me off to not have him in the next episode. So all in all, this episode was really good. It just didn't want to hit the punches that it felt like it was holding back its punches because it wasn't the last episode. It wasn't, a season final, not the last episode of the show, but like a season final. It felt like a season final episode, but because it wasn't, they kind of held back the punches, Yeah, you had Jeremiah fall into the vat, but you just didn't have the punches. It didn't hit. Thomas and Martha Wayne didn't hit as hard as it could have. Like I said, if they stretched it out for the full season or even longer than that, and really kind of play a long play with that could have really messed with his mind and kind of messed with him here. But really, it just kind of was a one shot and then moved on, where it could have been a lot bigger. So kind of missed the mark there. And then we end the episode with Lee talking to Jim about their relationship, and she's mad at him. She hits him. She kisses him. So it's just, I'm really confused as to where their relationship is at, especially with the whole, Jim having a daughter with Barbara Gordon and stuff, and that was kind of, I don't understand why she doesn't, like, yeah, if you go back to the situation, yes, she's been changed by Hugo Strange and all that, and there was, like, they had no relationship when Gordon hooked up with her. Before she was messed with by Hugo Strange, she was running the Narrows in a different thing, wanted nothing to do with Jim Gordon. So him sleeping around was just kind of, in a dire situation, was no big deal. So I really don't understand as to how she really hates him and not, and all that stuff. So that's gonna be interesting to see as to where things go with that. But it's just kind of like, they were not in a relationship at that time. She would have nothing to do with him. Then she gets mind wiped to before all this, I guess, so she still thinks that they were in a couple, or she remembers the stuff was in Narrows because she uses her knowledge throughout the episode. But, so it's just kind of a bit weird as if she remembers all that stuff, and it's like, sure, I was never, we were in a relationship. I didn't want anything to do with you. I wanted you to stay away, right? So there's just kind of a bit weird as to where their relationship goes, but it's a bit of a mess. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I almost thought that they were going to kill off Lee, when they turned around and they were revealed to be playing Thomas and Martha Wayne at the end there. But and then when they didn't, it was just kind of like a bit boring. It was like, oh, so they play Lee, they play the Thomas and Martha Wayne just for the twist for them to turn around and reveal. And then the next, and then a few seconds later, Selena comes down and just mind controls them, and there you go. I thought they were just going to get, Lee was going to get shot and she was going to die, but that didn't really happen. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with the Joker. Hopefully he's back because, it's the last season, we need to see him, but we'll have to wait and see as to how things turn out. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. Legend of the Dark Knight, Ace Chemicals, Season 5, Episode 7. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.